All right, sports fanatics, guess where we're headed here? Off to your right, you're gonna see a stadium. It's all lit up. Might get something else happening out here tonight. We got a couple people in the street here. Oh, looks like they're just kids. That's the Green Bay Packers Stadium, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to take you for a tour of the parking lot. Right in front of us here on this turn, you're going to see we're going to go past the Hinterland Brewing Company. The new Lodge Kohler, I heard the hotel rooms the cheapest you can find are $250. Right here across from the stadium, as you can see, you have the world famous Kroll's restaurant. Now they have two restaurants. This one was opened in 1974. The Kroll's family started on the east side of Green Bay. This is the west side. He's taking out the trash. The Kroll's restaurant started in 1936 on the east side of Green Bay. My grandparents and my mom used to go there in high school, and they'd have you dress up in the poodle skirts, and they'd have bands playing, and they have some of the world's greatest hamburgers, world-renowned butter burgers. There's also a restaurant in Green Bay called Basil's. And that's from the same family, and the word on the street is they separated. There was a feud, and there's a couple Basil's restaurants and a couple Kroll's restaurants, but all of them are owned under last name Kroll. Here it is. If you come to Green Bay for a game, you're gonna have to get a Kroll's Butterburger. They're probably ranked in the top 10 best burgers in all of the country. And next to us here, you have the brand new Kohler Lodge. Been to a couple parties here, and the cheapest room you're looking at $250. That's what I was told. Anyway, here's your Green Bay Packers Stadium. I'm trying to think of fun facts. Here's your Kohler, the Kohler Lodge they call it. I heard beers alone are $20 a pop. But anyway, behind there you got the that's where you got the sledding hill and everything else. Like I said, this is probably the most world famous restaurant. If you come to Green Bay, you have to get a burger. Probably going to cost you $10. I think the last time I was there for a regular burger was $8, and that's not on a Packer game. During a Packer game, you're probably looking at, who knows. It's worth it. If you're going to spend the money on tickets, get the burgers. Up here you got Kohler Lodge. Beautiful rooms. They're going to charge you, like I said, $250 for the cheapest room from what I remember. And then up on the corner you got the brewing company Hinterland, which I'm sure you're all familiar with their beers, you know. And this is where all the concerts play. When you hear of concerts in the park and everything in Green Bay, it's going to be right here in between Kohler and Hinterland. They sponsor all the concerts, and they'll put up a huge bandstand right here next to it. So if you keep your eye on that, you might be able to catch yourself a free concert. A lot of times free. I can't remember the last one we went to. Travis Tritt, and I think we went to Counting Crows. I got pictures. David Duritz. This right here, that's your big sledding hill that you see all the time in the playoffs when it's snowing back there. And this is where they put up all the bandstands and everything when you get free concerts out here. As you can see, I think the restaurants are still open here. Beautiful. Yeah, I see some TVs. Obviously, it's just probably not too many people. I came at night because I'm not familiar with filming yet, and it was just too much trouble to learn during the day. At night, it seems like it's a lot more peaceful. There's your big ski hill. They call it the Aaron's Hill up there. Looks like it's got to be at least 100 feet tall, something like that. And you got your big brewery back there and everything else. But here's your big stadium. And I'm going to take you to it. I'm trying to think, I'm trying to come up with information considering I'm from town that you won't see in any other videos. Now, this isn't the original stadium. Our original stadium was rattier than heck, but we all loved it. They actually ended up charging us an extra 0.5% on our taxes to build this behemoth. But it didn't cost us that much money looking back. It probably would have been billions of dollars today. I think it ended up costing us $600 million. And it used to be just bleachers, all bleachers. I don't even know if I'm allowed to record in here, to be honest. I think I am, but what are they gonna do, run me over? That'd be good for a YouTube video anyway. I mean, nowadays. I'm trying to come up with some fun facts. I should have wrote some fun facts down. Anyway, the Packers are from 1919. Their actual first name were the Green Bay Indians, believe it or not, when I did some research. And then they changed to the Acme Packing Company. Fun fact, my grandpa actually worked for offshoot of the company when they changed their name in, I don't know what year it was, but he worked for the packing company, a meat packing plant. Oh, and they played their games at a high school, believe it or not, where my grandpa went to high school. They used to watch the Packers play right on their own field. It's called East High School on the east side. Trying to think of any other fun facts I can come up with while I'm walking around the stadium here. Anyway, not only a couple years ago there was an ordinance filed, and most of these houses are actually not even owned by regular residents anymore. Used to be that they were all owned by regular residents, but a lot of these big mansions now here overlooking the stadium are actually owned by businesses. They had to change the city code a couple years ago, but there's still a lot of residents. There's probably still a couple that are actual Green Bay residents, but I'm imagining see these big mansions over here that overlook the stadium. I don't think anymore of that, but you'll be surprised now when we were driving up here, just a couple blocks, just one block over, you're gonna have all residential houses. And look at, there's no traffic here in Green Bay, none. Here we're at the front of the stadium with some big statues here. I don't think anybody's gonna bother me. Curly Lambeau. Founded the Green Bay Packers in 1919. I guess I could have just read off of this. Head coach for 31 seasons. Look at this. They're moving big plants and everything. We all know who that is. Vincent Lombardi. There he is. Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. There he is. And 5 NFL championships in 7 years. 61 through 62, 65, 66, and 67. You got your pro shop right here. And another unknown fact is, you know, they do a lot of weddings. I've been to 2 weddings myself here. And you go up, it's up these stairs, you walk in to the wedding halls are up in here. They got restaurants as well. Restaurants open late. They used to be open, I think, till 2 in the morning. I don't know, after COVID, everything changed after that. But I still think they're probably open till, I would imagine, they might be open right now yet. Serving booze and steaks. Probably the mainstay. People love their steak. Friday fish fries. Let's see. No. Yeah, there's the main entrance. I don't know. I'm just trying to wave at them all and hopefully they don't bother me. I think I'm allowed to record. They don't care. In Green Bay, if you act like you're part of the scene, this isn't like other places. It's a small town. They're not going to say anything to you. You can walk around and enjoy yourself as much as you like. That's why I see a lot of people. There's hardly anybody out here tonight. Look at this. Stadium wide open. They're cleaning it. I could probably walk right in. Look at. I probably shouldn't. With all these people going by and everything else. Should I walk in? No, it's locked. Look at, you got a guy just doing the floors. There are some bars in here too. Look at, you got the whole scene in there. You got 2 levels, you got escalators, it's fantastic. There's a bunch of wedding halls upstairs. It's just great. There's a couple restaurants. You'd see the bright lights on. I'm surprised they're closed down. They used to be open almost all night. Miller Lite. Nothing wrong with that. You know, walking up to the pro shop here just around the corner, you got this statue. I don't think I've ever seen it before. Wonder what it says here. Love it. The first Lambeau leap. Look at this. $1993. Who did it? Leroy Butler. He was a Super Bowl champion. 96. Now I wonder if those are the actual people that were in the stands. I don't see Leroy there though. They should have had Leroy. Look at this. How cool is that? Those things are fucking huge. Anybody entering the game. Non-clear bags are prohibited now, I guess. Seat cushions, umbrellas, coolers, selfie sticks. I don't use one of them. Video cameras. Can't even take one of them in anymore. What is prohibited? Cell phones, yeah. Yeah. Well, no guns or knives, which goes without saying, I would think. And across the street over here, you got the Resch Center. That big building this tree is blocking out of the way. It's a huge building across the street there. Resch Center. That's where all your bands come to play. That Packer Pro Shop has got to be a half a mile long. I guess that's where they're making all the money. Holy mackerel, that's a whole mile long. Holy mackerel. It started all the way at the end by them fans. Look at it, it's still going. Look at this. My goodness. My goodness. Look at it, goes all the way around the whole stadium. I didn't know that. So you learn something every day. And this guy is driving around. He's moving all these plants from different places to different places. Something we learned today. They got numbers on them in the corner, and they're driving these huge machines to move them. I guess they decide where they want people to park or not park, and they move these plants. They got built-in. You can see they got the built-in forklift holes on the bottom. That's pretty cool. We got to see that. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these cars weren't coaches out here. They've been known to stay late, start early. Yep, no question about it. I've seen a lot of players out here, coaches. I don't think these are too flashy. You just never know. You never know. Kabir Biamila, I met him a couple times. He used to drive a broken down. Sometimes it was overheating. We'd have to help him. I worked at UPS, and he'd come in there in his car, what did they call him? KBG, Kabir Biamila. And he drive the same car, the same SUV he had in high school. It was a 97 Tahoe, and that thing would be smoking. He had a strap pull, so you just never know. He was really good with his money. Real good. That's a true story. Here's the tailgate center. This is where expensive businesses pay to rent out, 2 stories tall. And all you can drink when you get in there, hot dogs, 2 stories, you name it. It's for big companies though. You got to be invited to that. You're not going to be able to afford to rent something like that. I'll tell you that right now. Not unless you own, big company in town here. Yeah. There ain't much going on in there, just tables and chairs. But yeah. Now look at this big football. Look at this thing. I do not remember this being here. This can't be been here too long. Look at the size of this Lombardi trophy. My goodness. It's got to be 100. It's got to be 100 feet by 25 feet. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't somebody's car. I probably shouldn't be recording their vehicle, but I wouldn't be surprised. That you ain't gonna get a Jeep like that cheap with all those add-ons. Who knows? You never know when you're gonna run into a Packer in Green Bay. You just don't know. At your grocery store, happens all the time. The size of this Lombardi trophy. My goodness, people. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen this. Look at the size of this thing. I don't even know how to reference the size of it. It's 3 stories tall. 3 stories. Look at this thing. I mean, this thing is 3 stories tall. My goodness, this stadium is huge. Who knows all the rooms and hidden nooks and crannies that are in this thing? My God, I don't even want to try opening the doors because I would walk in. 9 p.m. they close. Oh, she's locked. Unbelievable. Isn't that something? I don't think I've ever seen that. It's probably been there the whole time. Who knows? They're always doing construction. A lot of times they got the scoreboard lit up too. But I don't see it tonight. I was hoping for you guys that the scoreboard would be lit up and they'll put cool stuff on it so you can overlook it. Anyway, we're almost around the stadium. Don Hudson Center over here. This is where the Packers practice. Really don't practice out in the front a lot. A lot of times it almost seems like it's more for looks. They got the primp grass. They're out there all the time. But they really practice on the side back there where they got a different field. They got multiple fields. I think they got, I don't even know, 4 or 5 of them. 4 or 5 practice fields. That's an indoor field there in the center. And then they got outdoor fields. The grass is just pristine. I think they got 3 or 4 fields. I might walk out that far, considering there's not much else to see. Like I said, the takeaway here is Oneida Nations is a huge Native American reservation, and they're partners with the Packers, and they're good people. They're good people. There's a couple casinos here. You have one off right across from the airport now. It's huge. It's got great hotel rooms. It's clean. There's no trouble. They're always on top of their game. So if you come to town and you're looking for a casino, it's right across from the airport. It's huge. They got rooms. Yep. been there too many times to count. I'd walk up them stairs, but there ain't nothing but the same thing that we've seen already. Cool stuff though. Cool stuff. I wish I had more insight into, you know, this looks more like their business affairs over here. You can see it's more like a business office type setting. This might be where they handle all their paperwork, and who knows. Pretty cool though. Pretty cool workout I'm getting here tonight too. And you got your Marine and Army, this rest center right here, it's huge. It goes all the way back a whole mile, and it runs into two of the most popular bars in Green Bay, Anduzzi's and Stadium View. If you come to town, you just follow the rest center straight past this Marines and Army sign here. You just keep following this side road past the Don Hudson Center, the big practice center across the street. You just follow, they got this road. Let me see what it's called. It runs you right into the two best bars you're gonna get to go to if you're gonna come here and you're staying around the stadium and you don't want to drink and drive and you want to have a lot of fun. Stadium View and Anduzzi's. And it's right down this road here. What do they call it? Armed Forces Drive. Can't miss it. Oneida Street and Armed Forces Drive. I'm gonna get a shot down the road for you. Look at these guys. They don't care what I'm doing. Everybody around here is pretty cool. Here's your big rest center. I wouldn't mind getting stopped anyway. It'd be something, you know, extra to put on the film. Gets kind of boring. I can only talk so much, try to throw information at you. Anyway, there's a joke. We laugh because I used to live, there's a huge, right behind this here, there's a huge, now they got condos, and the condo that's built on my first apartment when I was in college, it cost me $300. And the running joke is that to rent my apartment, it's now is $1 million because they built a condo there, you know. So that's how it was in Green Bay. I got to stay right behind here for $300 a month and all the way through college, 7 years. I walked almost to every single Packer game. Sometimes they just hand us the tickets to get in. It's all changed now. 20 years ago when I was in college though, 19 years old, something like that. And you could walk right up to the stadium, and by halftime they'd just be giving out tickets. Anyway, there's your bars way down there. I don't think I'm going to do the whole walk. That's another 2 miles. But like I told you, this tees straight off to the bars that you're going to want to go to. And as a bonus tonight, I'm going to drive you to the Packer neighborhoods. Now, I can't say for sure which house is which, and I don't think I'm supposed to or allowed to anyway. But I know where they live. I know what neighborhood they live in, and I'm gonna drive you around their neighborhood tonight. So, as a bonus, because I don't think anybody does that on YouTube. All right. I don't know if you can see from this far away, but they got all the lights on up there pointing down on the field. Pretty sweet. Still don't see if the scoreboards are, not all the lights, but they're working some of them. You can see how big this tailgate center is. Tailgate Village. It's big. Green Bay likes to drink. Green Bay and Wisconsin itself, I believe Green Bay has been top 3 in the last couple years now. Number 1 or number 2 or number 3 in almost every single poll in the country for binge drinking too many, you name it. They like to drink. If that Tailgate Village doesn't tell you the whole story, how big it is. About half the size of the stadium. No, it's not that big, but it's big. Yep. And sometimes at night they'll have that scoreboard lit up, but they didn't for me tonight. But anyway, and it's blocking out the moon. Oh well. Like I said, I promised I'm going to take you to see the Packer neighborhoods tonight. They might be sleeping in their beds. We're going to drive right by. There's your world famous yellow fence everybody talks about, right on the corner of Lombardi and Oneida Street. They show it on TV almost every year. You can see Brett Favre in the back there. They got all the Marilyn Monroe, it looks like. Vince Lombardi. Who's that? Who do they got? Is that Rodgers? Anyway, it says, I guess they still got the draft day. He paints it now. The family still paints it. The man did it it was a huge thing, and he did it for, man, I want to say he painted that fence for 50, 60 or some odd years. And he was on almost every year they had him on. before the games, they'd show wet paint out there. He'd change the sign almost every game or every season, and he passed away not too long ago, and it was a sad day in Green Bay, I'll tell you that right now. Like I said, here you got a couple copycats right across the street. They're doing the fence painting thing too. They got a QR code and everything. Then you got them over here. You can kick field goals during the game and everything to draw in some crowds or people to rent their place for who knows how much a weekend. I would bet for a place like that, $10,000 minimum to rent that out for a Packer game. But I have never looked into it. But like I said, a lot of the corporations bought these out and they resectioned just this one street here for business operations. So a lot of these are business, but there still are some privately owned homes that got passed down, like this smaller one here, from generation to generation, where they just got the garage out there and they're still here. This hasn't been, they haven't ran them all out of town. Oh, I thought that was me. I thought I was talking. It's them over there. They're having a little fire. Let's see the fire across the street. Yeah, that's just a nice family. There's no Packer season, so they own that place. Good for them. I bet you that property's worth $1.5 million. Good for them. Go Pack, go! I don't know. I guess they don't want my attention. There you go. Stadium's back there. And if that wasn't fun enough for you, I'm giving it all I got. That's actual beer in that up there. If you were to take a hammer and a nail and you were to puncture that, you could drink booze all night. Probably end up in jail. Who knows? You get away with a lot during a Packer game. But you probably end up in jail. Anyway. Back to the car that I'm going to do as I promised. We're going to drive around tonight with hopes and prayers that somebody actually sees this video. What the heck? I was almost back to my car and I thought, what the hell kind of a videographer would I be if I didn't take you up the sledding hill? Not that this video ain't long enough. Maybe I won't actually go up the sledding hill. That'd take too long. I think you get the idea just from being underneath it, how beautiful it is. Look at this. They got bean bags and everything. Like I said, this is exactly where you come. You come if you hear there's a concert. This is where you walk, and it's free. 90% of the concerts I came here, and I'm talking big name bands, all been for free. They put up a big bandstand right there, and everybody in town shows up, and it's a hoopla, they call it. Hoopla. A big deal. Won't be surprised if you hear polka in the background. Now I got myself behind this big hill. Can I walk back out onto the street? I think they call this something village. I don't know, Packer Village, or looks like they got me fenced in here. Look at fire pits and everything, but this is just about it. This is about the whole stadium and surrounding area. Well, I was wrong. They got a kids playground back in the middle of nowhere as well. I mean, this looks like we got some pretty cool statues. Man, this video is never gonna end. Never. 1966 champions, 67 champions, 96 champions, 2010 champions, 2025 it's empty. Well, walking out the back there, I would imagine if anybody gets injured, any Packers gets injured, this is where they take them, right here behind the stadium. Sports medicine and orthopedics. Walking back to my car, and there's just one more thing to pop up. These are your condos I was talking about when I was joking around about somebody's got a big TV up there going. They got the game on. Looks like, is that the Sox? Look at, they got their garages and everything. This is $1 million you're looking at in that guy's window. It's $1 million condo right at the stadium. Whole lines of them. That's what we're moving. They moved in here in the last couple years. It was never like this, but you know, they got to make money. Block away, you're right into the middle of a Green Bay neighborhood. Just a regular Everybody's asleep, ready to get up at work. They're working the morning shift probably in town here. You're looking at 6 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and they're all going to their respective areas, and everybody loves their Packers, and they live right next to the stadium, and they put up with the coldest weather in the country to see them. Yep. They love their Packers. So do I. I wouldn't call myself a die-hard, but I love my Packers as much as the next guy, the average guy. There you go. Now you know where the Packers go when they get injured. You've seen the stadium. You've seen where everybody gets drunk at the tailgate house. You've seen the big hill twice. I took you down, showed you where the practice field was, the bar area. I even yelled at a couple owners of $1 million rental property, "Go Pack Go," but they weren't welcoming at the moment. Now you're saying to yourself, Switch, is this video ever gonna end? Ever? Because this has gotten out of control, and it has. What has it been? Who knows how long this video is gonna be? They're probably gonna tell me, "Sir, you can't upload a 30-minute video on your first week to YouTube." But either way, stadium's on your right. And as I promised, tonight, to finish off this nightcap of a YouTube video, we're going to drive you to the Packers neighborhood where a lot of them live. It's only up the road about 5 minutes. Right here you got Lombardi Avenue. Right on the corner of the stadium, making a left. Following Lombardi. Now a lot of you are going to be coming in. If you see this video, you're going to be coming in down Lombardi. You're going to come right past it, and you're not even going to know, because the highway where you get off of, you'd have to make a left to hit their neighborhood. Now hopefully, with all the luck in the world, we're going to get the green lights so that this video doesn't be any longer, because we're only a couple lights away from where the Packer neighborhoods are. Well, it's not just Packers, but I know for a fact because my dentist lives in the neighborhood. I had a doctor that I know lives in the neighborhood that I done work on their cars for, and they've told me where certain Packer players live in there's a lot of them. They're right up the road from the field, which is pretty cool if you think about it. Who knows? Maybe we'll catch one in the window. I don't know though. I mean, obviously, I don't think the camera's going to be able to pick that up, but we're going to drive through the neighborhood. We're only a couple lights away. So they get out of practice or wherever at the field, whatever door, gate, wherever they're hiding their cars underground or whatever, they take Lombardi just like I did. And this is where you're going to come in on the highway. So you'll have no idea, because you're going to be headed the other way to the stadium from right here on these exits right here where this car's coming on. You're going to be going to the stadium. So you're going to have had no idea that if you were to make a left instead of making a right towards the stadium there, that you're going to be right in a neighborhood here. Hopefully this light will turn green quick so I don't have to keep cutting. And because I was hoping to show it to you just like, you know, like as if the Packer player, how long it takes them to drive from the stadium to get home. So you're looking at it. Now I'm in the left only lane, so that was a bad idea. But that's all right. There's no traffic in Green Bay. So right here, this road right here, this is only as far as they go. So what was that, 4 turns? They go right past, they got a grocery store right on the corner. They can pick up all the meat and everything else they need, all the protein that they're probably eating. 2,000 calories a day, I would guess. That's a lot. It's probably what they're eating. They can pick up their groceries real quick over there. I think it was a Hy-Vee we drove past, about 1 minute from the stadium. And right here, you make a left. Right, the houses really aren't spectacular. You make this left right here on, what road is this? They don't even have a road name on here. And here you go. I know for a fact a couple of them live right on these first couple streets right here. For a fact they're back in here. I know for a fact this is where they live. As you can see, I'm going about as slow. I don't want to go too slow, but yeah, they all got their lights out. I don't even know if you guys are going to be able to see up these houses. I don't want to take the camera off. Hoping it'll pick something up. Should I drive in one of their driveways? But anyway, we might be driving by a Packer player right now. Probably are. And they're sleeping in their bed, getting ready for their 2025 season here. Right now, all these roads they live on. Look how beautiful these roads are. Look at this. If you weren't from around here, you wouldn't even know this is here. Look at this. I don't even think I've taken it. They got all their lights off. They're not even afraid of anybody coming in this neighborhood. They don't even have lights on. I bet you, I shouldn't even say nothing about it, but isn't that something? They don't even have lights on their driveways. Look at, they got their own park. Look at this. Tell me this ain't cool. Tell me I didn't go the extra mile for you guys. Tell me this ain't cool. Drove right by their houses. Tell me this ain't cool. Look at this. Look at these houses. Look at the columns on that. Don't tell me a normal person can afford that. Let me show you. This is look at these houses. I'm taking my camera off to show you. Look at these. Look at these houses. Look at this. Yep. Yep. This is the real deal. Yep. There's no question about it. Some of these Packers live right here. I don't know which ones exactly. I've been told a couple of them, but yeah, they don't even get cars come down their road. They don't even turn their lights on, and half of them don't even turn their lights on. Anyway. Oh yeah. Well, I promised you I'd show you, and here we are. So, yep. Look at this. There you go. I mean, there's about 100. There's about probably 100 of them. Look at, right down from the stadium. You know. Yep. Yep. You're either a doctor or a Packer player. Or a dentist. Some of the dentists make a lot of money. They're in here because they have a dental office right there. We drove by, but yeah, now I got to reconnect this camera, causing me nothing but trouble right now. There you go. I think 1 million people have probably showed the stadium, but I don't think they drove people right past their houses while the Packers are sleeping at night. Now, some do. Some of the Packers that have been here a while will find a different neighborhood. But the ones that just come here, this is really, I'm sure all the rookies, everything like that, this is where they're going to be. Right in here, right in this neighborhood. This is where they're going to be. Right here. Yeah, every house here is a couple $1 million. Yep. No question about it. Like I said, I've been to a dentist out here and a doctor, and they both said, well, all the Packers are their patients, and they come over for cocktails and steaks, and a different world. Different world from us poor folk. That's okay. Anyway, these roads go on. There's probably another, I could probably do another. This is where all the dentist's office are I was telling you about, and they all live over here too. Up here on the right, there's a doctor I know. Anyway, I'm cutting this video off. You got to see at least 1 or 2 Packers sleeping in their bed behind one of them walls. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe.